Hey guys, Mike Martinez, New Jersey public adjuster. Actually, I'm a public adjuster in several different states, but New Jersey is my resident state, but I'm licensed in several different states. But here's what I want to tell you guys. Came across this article on insurancenews.com.au, and it's very interesting because, keeping in the statistics that the industry statistics, the year 2019, the statistic was that 6 out of 10 claims were initially denied at the very first phone call. In other words, you call the insurance company and you say, hey, I'm John Smith at 123 Main Street in Maintown, USA, and I got this problem in my house, whatever the problem is. They go through this questioning process, and then within a week or two, you get a letter in the mail that says, that your claim doesn't qualify for a claim, and they give you some kind of a reason there. A lot of times, it's the way you, the homeowner, communicates, but 6 out of 10 times, this would happen in 2019 in the very initial phone call. Now, since March of 2020, we had the lockdowns, with the COVID thing, and this is happening even more rampantly. What I'm going to tell you is that public adjusters and claims adjusters are considered essential services, essential businesses, and if you got, let's say, a pipe that bursts in your basement, and you got tons of water there, and you call your insurance company, you should not hear, well, we're not in business right now because of the COVID thing. You should not hear that, right? Although some will, some of them will try to discourage you from moving forward. Others will try to settle it over the phone or through a distance, through whatever means they can, right? This particular article in insurancenews.com was about a property owner, an insurance holder that was going to sell their property, and there was a burglary that happened, that appliances were stolen and the property was damaged, right? They stole some of the appliances, and ripping them out, they damaged the property, and the insurance company denied them for the coverage of those appliances, which was unjustified. This particular article explains that it was in fact unjustified. And interestingly enough, I read the article, and somewhere in the article it states that the insurance company actually paid for a few things. It paid for, if you look at this paragraph right here, it paid for a pair of sunglasses, a vacuum cleaner, and some wall art, right? But the homeowner actually spent over $32,000 replacing the appliances that were stolen and fixing the house for sale. The house was already under contract to be sold, and the argument of the insurance company was, the person that was buying the property should have had insurance. But the fact of the matter is that doesn't happen. If you've been in any realty transaction, you know that the homeowner is not liable to get insurance until the date of closing. So that's what was happening here. But the insurance company came out with, no, it's not our responsibility. We'll pay for the sunglasses, but the appliances, really not our responsibility. The new homeowner, even though they hadn't yet closed, the person that was under the contract of sale was responsible for that, which actually wasn't. And you know what, guys? Unfortunately, the homeowner that's the actual owner is going to get compensated for this. This actually had to go through court and go through a long legislative, period, right? They had to go and be in front of the courts before the insurance company was forced to pay, right? But the fact of the matter is that had they used a public adjuster, then the public adjuster would have quickly assessed the fact that, hey, it's not the new contracted person that's in the seller contract that's responsible. It's actually the insurance company that's handling the insurance at the time of the event. So here's the bottom line, guys. When you're having an insurance claim issue, and if you've ever been denied, or if you've been denied over the last 12 months, either denied or underpaid for an insurance claim, please contact me. Pick up the phone, give me a call. My number is on the video here, but you need to contact me and say, this is my issue. This is what's going on. Can we, can you look at this and advise me on what's the best way to approach this? Because 9 out of 10 times, the insurance company is not going to take care of you. They're going to, 9 out of 10 times. The statistics told us that for 2019, 6 out of 10 initial phone call, they were already squirming their way out of it, right? Again, ever since COVID hit, they're coming up with the craziest, excuses. All our claims adjusters have the COVID, right? Or our claims adjusters are over 60 years old and they're afraid to go into other people's property. That has nothing to do with nothing. Their responsibility is to help restore you back to pre-damage condition. You're going to hear the excuses. You're going to hear the denials. You're going to be offered lower amounts of money. None of that is in your favor. What's in your favor is to be able to put somebody that can represent your policy the proper way so that you get paid the highest possible settlement within those guidelines of your policy. So just be aware of the fact that over the last, since March of 2020, because of the COVID, tons of denials have gone out. And the average person, because you know what? The average person doesn't understand the intricacies of the insurance industry. They go out there and it sounds right. Hey, that's an act of God. No such thing, right? No such thing. So there are times when you're going to come across these situations. And to be honest with you, if you're looking at this and you're a homeowner and you don't have an issue, you don't have a denial, you weren't underpaid, just keep in mind that if you do have an issue that comes up, you want to be able to contact a public adjuster prior to contacting your insurance company, right? Because you want representation from the very beginning. And again, the thing to watch out for is that every time that you pick up the phone and you call them, what's the very first thing you hear when they answer the phone? They don't even answer the phone, right? They got a recording telling you that your conversation is going to be recorded. And so they say for training purposes. But you know what? They are trained. These are not minimum wage earners. These are not people that are just taking notes, answering the phone. These are people that are trained to ask specific questions that can derail your claim. So you got to be extremely careful, and that's why it's best not to even make the phone call. Have a public adjuster call for you and do this. And the bottom line is you're going to see that, number one, you're going to save yourself a lot of aggravation. Number two, you're not going to go through the obstacle course that they're going to want you to go through in order to prove your claim. Number three, you probably don't know how to exactly prove your claim. Now, when you prove your claim, you're talking about burden of proof. And the burden of proof is measurements. It's materials that are involved. It's where the damage originated from. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different variables that fall under burden of proof. And if you don't have those things aligned properly, you're going to be denied. That's why, and a lot of times, again, because you're being recorded and they're asking you strategic questions, you have to Answer those questions in a very direct and specific way. And when you do, and you make a mistake, they got you in their recording. Sometimes we can correct that. In other words, sometimes a public adjuster could say, well, that really was, something that she was answering without knowing, or in fact, the situation is this way. But you want to save yourself that trouble, right? So the bottom line is, you give a public adjuster a call. My number is on this video right here. Give me a call. And there's no cause for me to go over, look at your policy, look at your damage, look at your, if we have to reopen your claim. There's no cause for that. I can go over and I could see if you were justifiably paid, if you were justifiably denied, and we could take it from there. But the chances are that if you don't have representation, you're not going to be treated fairly. That's just the way it works, right? This is a business, and the business is there to make money, and let me just be clear, it's not like we're stealing money from the insurance company. The insurance companies make billions of dollars. If you haven't seen my video on how they are advertising and how much money they spend in advertising, you'll see the amount of money, the insane amount of money that they make, because a lot of times people are uninformed, and they go around, without really holding them true to their policy. And so they get away with just paying a fraction of what they should pay. And so that goes into their profits, right? That goes into their investors. That goes into the company, bank account. Bottom line is, you need representation, and that's what we do. So, Mike Martinez, if you are a homeowner that experienced any damage, if you've experienced a denial, if you settle the claim and you want to see if what your settlement was correct, if whether, what you're going to find is that a lot of claims are being settled for $2,000 and $3,000, when in fact, and every claim is different, right? But when in fact they should be $10, $15, $20 or more $1,000. We've done our company did a analysis of that, and I can share that with you at another time. But the fact of the matter is, if you're not being represented, they know that, and they're going to take advantage of that. So Mike Martinez, if you're a homeowner, experienced any damage over the last 12 months, you were denied, you were settled for a very low amount, and you want us to check that, pick up the phone, give me a call. Mike Martinez, I'll speak to you soon.